Well, it started again today. You know, it's quiet. They're not real smart. I have people drive around, drive through, say stop, drive by, go in places. Well, I did medical testing today for work. Nailed that 96. With all this, quitting smoking. Okay, getting back to what I was going to say. But I'm proud of myself. I'll just know that accomplishing 13 days, 12, 13 days with no smoking, dealing with idiots, and then going for that one certificate that nailed the test. Proud of myself. Okay, getting back to the case. Okay. I told you a long time ago about that one white hair guy with his hair part outside. Dixie seen him when they bullied me on my jewelry. He's sitting at the next table with a kid that looks like Josh, my middle son. But it wasn't Josh. It was just similar brown hair, brown beard. Okay, then yeah. But, and I told you, somebody said his name was Alec or Alex when they drove by. Okay. He was the one that was in there. Wendy's, grab her straw, grab her straw. We don't get it this time, we'll get it next. Well, he was sitting with people and they were telling people he was FBI handlers. I had nurses aid training in 07. I had to have my DNA and fingerprints registered in the government because I was going to go into nursing. Why would you need my DNA? Because he wasn't real. It's okay, I threw the straw in the thing. I told you, they got fake badges. They fool people. He's a spitting image of Judge P. Matter of fact, I thought it was him in a fake beard joking around with Ludic on the day of my divorce. Because it said Judge Peter something. And his picture, he looked like a little white Santa Claus. Real thin one. In the back joking around with Judge Timothy Ludic. Right outside my room. Seth seen him. Okay. And Cecily Mullins is an attorney up there. Because Dave's always in contempt of court for the divorce thing, and he was supposed to pay off the taxes, and he didn't. The back taxes we owed like $3,000. They've took my taxes for the last couple years, and then I have to get Cecily to write a mean letter to him to get it back. But it should be paid off this year or next, because with my refund I'll pay it off. But I asked her, who is that Judge Peter or something that looks like a little white Santa. She's like, I don't know anybody like that. I said, well, his picture was hanging on the wall. She said, oh, if his picture was hanging on the wall, he's been retired a long time. I said, well, he was joking around in the back with Judge Timothy Ludic. Oh, they're probably friends. They probably were joking around in the back. Nice. And Michelle's is scared. That's why that whole county can't work a case against me in my whole life. It's called a conflict of interest. Even Officer Reinhardt Luspo said that. But I got to thinking, I was up in Ravenna. When I was up in Ravenna, I hadn't left yet. Some guy came up to me in a store and he said, now this is going to sound gross because we already know about the shower scene in the other room to make me look weird. He said they photoshopped a scene of a toilet scene. And when you stood up, you used like a feminine wipe and they put that in the other room. I looked at him like, ew. And I walked off. I started ignoring people because stuff like that's crazy. And ew. And then where people say they photoshopped everything, I don't know what they did. I don't want to know what the perverts did. They kicked in my door within the first 6 days me moving up there, because Dave met Michelle 3 days after we moved in there. Then I started moving in, and on the 6th day they kicked in my door, and I guess they were stalking me. And then where I was having bruises, I was sick and I was dizzy and I didn't know what's going on, they were day rape drugging me. And that's why I was sick and having marks. That's not funny. Then they lie to people. They had sodium pentothal reports. I was talking to my one client's neighbor, and she said, I used to do home health care for someone in the mafia. And she said they'd sit around and tell you who they killed, how they killed them, and they didn't care. Oh, well, really? She's like, and they would tell you flat out, oh, we'd kill you in a heartbeat. We'd do this. We did this to this person, da, 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 da. And they don't care. Okay? She said, you'd be surprised what comes out of their mouth. I said, really? That's what my father said. When I was small, I said, we lived in Buffalo in the 70s. Or right outside Buffalo. Right outside Buffalo. And this one guy that was known to be like a big mafia guy came up and asked my dad to hire his son to work at his factory. He's like, fine, I'll hire him. He said that kid stood against the wall with a broom in his hand. He said, I don't care. They're not burning my factory down. You can't stand there all day, because they were burning a lot of businesses back then. So, and my dad would come home and say, you'd be surprised what comes out of that kid's mouth. And then things about having people killed, all kinds of stuff. He said it was bad. He said, you'd be surprised what comes out of that kid's mouth. But I was telling her, about them kicking in my door and apparently photoshopping me and then date rape drugging me. And where I had bruises, I was sick, and then them saying that they had shower scenes in the other room, da 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 da. She's like, are you sure the mafia is not involved? Because the only one that gets away with this is the mafia. And that's what a retired sheriff said to me. Are you sure the mafia is not involved? Because the only one gets away with this is the mafia, because they pay everybody off. Well, they're in it with drug dealers. Retired George Pete and his dirty friends, where they got all the drugs to drug me up. That lady, my client's neighbor, told me that they were laughing that before, when she started working there, that one of the guys were in jail. They had one of the guys in a fake police uniform that was perfect. Fake credentials, perfect. An attorney with attorney license, and a fake court order. We got one of the guys out of jail. And they were still laughing at work. But that person's in trouble, though, that released him. And said it was just that. I said, that sounds familiar. They're supposed to have a fake court order. Watch me. There's no such thing. Policing agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. They have to speak to everyone before they started. The police would go to jail. These people actually have fake FBI badges. I told her that. I said, Judge Peter, his group has fake FBI badges, and they got in the back of Altman Hospital. I was there. Talked to a doctor. She's like, well, if they're connected to the mafia, they were laughing at. They had credentials clear up to that. They had it for everything, and it was good. That's not good credentials, but theirs looks like the regular ones. And she's like, are you sure the mafia? They're not in it with the mafia, because they have those kind of fake credentials. It's like the bad FBI. I already went over, like, why Will talked to me, and when I tried to report what happened at Huntington Bank, and how he called me a liar, and on the Department of Justice 1729, badgering people, how it's illegal. And it's going to cost him his freedom once they pull that. Because I tried to tell him what happened at Huntington Bank, and where that Dave called that guy, or the Pizza Hut lady called him, and he was a guy that tried to kidnap me before, and he threatened to knife me by the ATM, and that Pizza Hut lady getting paid to watch me, and then them walking off together. And the banker was yelling at that lady because, she's getting paid to watch me and stalk me. And that agent calling me a liar. He can't. It's called badgering. Either confess you're lying or I'll put you in jail. He can't talk to me that way. So, Department of Justice 1729. Badgering a victim, a witness, or an informant he gets prosecuted for it. And if he did take a bribe, like they said that they did gave him that they cut a deal with him for Michelle, August 10th, 11/22, Walmart 62 by the hair salon, there's bribery. And then if the person gets hurt because of it, and then where he threatened me if I told anybody that he lists me crazy and no one can help me, that goes back into badgering. It's not legal and they can't use it. The police, my one friend worked at the prosecutor's office. He said nothing that agent said is legal and the police know they can't go along with it. So, but I hope a lot of this stops soon. I'm really tired of these annoying people and I'm really looking for justice.